Grebitz. I am Communication Specialist for Summit School District, and today I'll be providing you an overview of our Summit School District Restart Guide, which will lead our efforts as we move forward into next school year. As we have successfully completed this last school year, we want to recognize and thank everyone who made this year a success for our students. We are grateful for all the resiliency and hard work of our staff, students, and families for overcoming the challenges of these last couple of months. Thank you. While we did an exceptional job implementing distance learning in just a few short days, we learned a lot over the last several months, which will help us improve for next year, including transforming learning to meet the needs of all students in our new environment and providing the tools and skills needed for mastering online learning. Unfortunately, we do not yet know what the future holds for our community's health climate and public health orders. But we do know that there are complex challenges that lie ahead as we plan for next school year that will require everyone's flexibility and adaptability. As we prepare for an uncertain future, we will continue to prioritize the health and safety of all of our students and staff and continue to follow the guidance from local, state, and federal public health and government officials. We have started developing a draft of the Summit School District Restart Guide, which will direct our efforts in preparing for multiple scenarios to implement meaningful learning for each one of our students next year. The Restart Guide is a draft and a work in progress. We ask that our families please take the time to read through this draft, even though it's extensive, but it will be continually updated over the summer with new guidance and planning. The Restart Guide breaks down the considerations and best thinking of the recovery planning team and subgroups. All frameworks in the guide will continue to coordinate and be in compliance with CDC, CDPHE, and Summit County Public Health guidelines and align with district transportation, food services, and facilities departments. The Restart Guide overviews different models that represent a continuum of learning options being considered for the fall. These models are dependent upon public health order and gathering numbers. On one end of the spectrum, there is fully online learning, which we experienced during stay-at-home orders. During stay-at-home orders, students were not able to gather together, so schools were ordered to close to in-person instruction. On the other end of the spectrum is fully in-person learning, which will happen when there are no longer health-related restrictions and all students will be able to learn together in our schools. The middle of the spectrum is the largest portion, and this represents blended learning. Blended learning is a hybrid of both in-person and online learning. In this model, students would rotate times of in-person learning at school and online learning at home. Knowing the importance of in-person learning, but also recognizing that some public health restrictions will most likely still be in effect in August, we are planning a blended approach to learning that will allow students to receive as much in-person instruction as possible. The amount of in-person learning will be determined by gathering numbers provided by public health. Currently, the state has ordered a gathering size limit of 10 people. This means that only 10 students and teachers can occupy a classroom at one time, which severely limits the number of students we can welcome into our buildings each day. Additionally, the blended model will provide the district with the flexibility in serving our families with varying degrees of comfort in sending their children back to school. We want to remind families that flexibility will be necessary throughout next school year, as we may have situations where we move between blended learning and fully online learning models, which could occur in the event of confirmed COVID cases. Regardless of the approach, we must be prepared to provide a robust, meaningful education where all students are accountable for new learning. As we strive to continue to offer high-quality programs for all students, we are developing unprecedented models with uncertainty in school funding. As state education funding is still uncertain, and daily we are receiving new updates, we have learned that the state is planning a deficit of over $3 billion, which means we could be educating students in an unprecedented way with potentially less funding. We will continue to update families with details of plans and budget throughout this summer as soon as we can. However, much of our planning will be determined by the progression of the virus in our community over the summer and evolving public health orders. Parents and staff insight and feedback is integral in our planning process. We need to hear your voice throughout this process, and we ask that families fill out the following Google form, which is posted in the comment section below and also on the district website. We ask that families please submit your questions before Sunday, June 28th. Currently, there is still much unknown about the future and what school will exactly look like in the fall, as our plans are dependent upon public health guidance and governor's orders. But we will try to answer the questions as best we can with the information we have now. Please know that our greatest hope is that we can welcome all students back into classrooms, but we need to be prepared for every scenario. No matter the health guidance or orders, it is our duty to plan and be prepared to educate, elevate, and empower each and every child every day. The preparations are complex, and we appreciate our staff and families' patience during this time. Lastly, we would like to thank our wonderful Summit community. We are grateful for our community and coming together and helping one another during this health crisis. The acts and compassion are inspiring, and we are proud to serve you. Thank you.